while we speak of institutional transparency, we are in a stage of live streaming where we have regional judgments now coming in. What more steps do you feel that, can come in as far as institutional transparency, either the Supreme Court or the district judiciary is concerned, so that everybody can actually access the law, everybody can know how court proceedings go on? Because already we have steps. You had initiated, live streaming. You had a robust system of live streaming, simplified judgment. What more can be put in as far as, increasing this institutional transparency is concerned?
Let us begin with legislation, the process of forming laws. Now, a very welcome step which was taken by Parliament and therefore by the government while it moved the Finance Bill of 2025 was to simplify the Income Tax Act. And just to give the viewers some figures, there were 47 chapters in the Income Tax Act which have been brought down to 23. There were 819 sections which have been brought down to 536. There were 5.12 lakh words in the Income Tax Act which have been brought down to 2.60 lakh words. There were 1,200 provisos, the provisos in legislation, provided that, and provided further that. So these 1,200 provisos have been removed. There were 900 explanations which have been removed. So the first step, I think, and I'm not being critical, it's just a process of evolution. It's important that we simplify laws. Say a law meant for maintenance of senior citizens. The senior citizen must be able to understand the law. A law meant to protect women against domestic violence. That law must be understood by those women who are going to seek access to justice. The law is not meant for judges and lawyers alone, right? It's meant for citizens. One problem which you perceive in the law, and I'm sure so many of the audience would also agree with me, is that there is a disconnect between the spoken version of our regional languages and the official version of our regional languages. For instance, my mother tongue is Marathi, but I'm very fluent in Hindi, and I know several other Indian languages. Now, spoken Marathi at home or spoken Hindi is very different from official Marathi or official Hindi. Now, how does a citizen understand official Marathi or official Hindi, or that, for that matter, official Tamil or Malayalam or Telugu or Bangla or Gujarati or Punjabi? So we have to bridge this gap between the way laws are drafted in the official text and the laws as they should be understood in the language which citizens speak. So the first step is, of course, the Saral movement. Make laws more Saral, make them more simplified. The second, insofar as what the judiciary should do. Now, I must share with you one of our initiatives when I was Chief Justice of India. We began a monthly newsletter through the Center for Research and Planning, and every judgment which was delivered by the Supreme Court, the judgment may be 50 pages, it may be 500 pages. We would put into a small paragraph, in very simple terms, what that judgment decides, so that the common citizen must know what is it that this judgment has done for me. That is something which we have done. Almost all the important judgments from independence, we tried to pick up the most important among them, simplify them, and to put them on the website of the Supreme Court for allowing for citizens to understand what the content of the judgment is. Because, and the third and final thing, which is that the language of judgments has to also be simplified. Legal language is extremely complex. It's all jargon. There's so much of Latin, audi alterum partem, or, nemo judex in sua causa. Good heavens. Citizens are not concerned with, Latin of some bygone age. Or you have words like thereunder and whereunder and heretobefore and hereinafter. Stop using these kind of words. I think we need to simplify the way we write, because who do we write for? You write for citizens. And therefore, language has to be a lot more simple. It's extremely difficult to be simple. It's very easy to be complex. So, that's one thing that we need to do. Final thing, live streaming. live streaming, I think, has been a very critical part of our outreach to citizens. Live streaming of court proceedings has taken the work of particularly the Supreme Court and the High Courts to the homes of Indian citizens. It's also, democratized access to justice. A citizen across India, citizen sitting in Meghalaya, can appear and watch proceedings before the Supreme Court. When we had the Lok Adalat, we had citizens all over India watching what we were doing in the Lok Adalat. So it sort of allows for citizens to participate in the work of the courts.